Greetings and glad tidings. Beautiful butterflies in transition, just like me. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody on these few days before Valentine's Day? I know some of you may not be with people that you might have been with last year. That's a good thing. Okay, always remember that. Those people who have moved on represent those people that you have outgrown. Spirit has something much, much better for you. Okay, so do not worry. Glean what you can from this message today, the spiritual part of the message. Hopefully will be something that resonates with quite a few of you, and then we'll get down into some more of the specifics. Y'all know I'm always getting new decks. I got a new deck today, so I'm going to christen this. It's called The Wisdom of the Avalon, and I love it already. Don't know why I hadn't found it a long time ago. And as usual, my go-to, y'all already know, the Energy Oracle. That's what we're going to get our Oracle guidance from today, I think. Something's telling me to pull from this Zodiac Oracle, too. We're just going to see what the messages are. So, happy Wednesday. I believe it's the 12th. When you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you lose track of dates. It's nice. Lets you know that you're in a relaxed state of mind. I do need to know what the actual date is, though. I don't want to be irresponsible. I do believe it is the 10th, 11th, 12th. I'm good. So let's just clear the energy. It's my hope that whatever messages come through reach the greatest number of you possible. Remember, these messages are pulled only with the Patreon collective. So even though I post the first part of it on YouTube, you guys get the whole reading. I haven't even posted them on YouTube yet, and I had them for 3 days. Y'all not supposed to be looking at me. Y'all supposed to be looking at the table. What am I thinking? I'm going to turn the camera down. First card, restriction. For some of you, this is related to work. For others of you, it's more of a feeling of restriction of some sort. It may represent decrease. Keep in mind that restriction is always about a state of mind, okay? It's never, ever, not in a true sense, about the reality of a situation. So whatever you might be experiencing that has to do with things feeling tight, or some sort of constraint or some sort of restriction, we're going to get some more information about it. But always know that fundamentally it's a state of mind. You may be feeling like obstacles are in your path, or you've been trying to do something a certain way and you keep running up against maybe some difficulty. Some of you might actually be feeling trapped in a situation. It could be job related. Some of you may be vacating something because you feel restricted. But after restriction always comes what? Always remember this: expansion. Always. Bottom of the deck. Movement, expansion, activity. Okay, this is a positive card. This is at the bottom of the deck. I felt the need to look at that. So yeah, on the other side of restriction, there's always movement. Every single time. It never fails. Why? Because of the law of rhythm. Those of you who are reading the Kabbalion, gonna post a video tomorrow. Okay, if I'll probably do it tonight. Okay, the measure of the pendulum swing this way is equal to the measure of the pendulum swing that way. Whatever goes up must come down. Life ebbs and flows, and we go through cycles. And for me, literally, when I began to look at life like that, the lows didn't feel so bad. I recognized that life has a flow to it. There are certain cycles. There's certain things that we're supposed to be doing at certain times. For example, right now we're in the winter. Okay? Winter feels like this sometimes. But this is where you plan. This is where you strategize, all right? So that when the dust starts to clear and springtime comes, you are moving with the season. You are coming into a time of rebirth. Don't forget that, okay? Don't forget that. Restriction also is a time where we're shedding stuff. We're letting stuff go that just ain't working for us no more, okay? But restriction is always good because it also makes you stop and think. And like I said, you have to strategize, okay? The dragon. Power, strength, okay? Strategy. Holding your position. This means you're not vacillating, okay? You're not going back and forth. You're holding your position. All right? Bottom of the deck there. The fire fairy, okay? All right? Okay, there's strength in you also pursuing your passion. There's strength in you pursuing your passion. Okay? This is a time of optimism, regardless of what you might be feeling around you. This is a time of optimism. I'm looking for the box. Yeah. So we know when we get the fire fairy, we are talking about some sort of movement that's happening underneath the surface that is going to allow us to pursue our passion. This is going to be a fast moving energy, meaning it may be causing you to shake things up a bit and do some things differently. Now, for some of you guys who are coming out of a place of restriction, coming out of where you felt confined, maybe where you haven't felt very productive, you haven't felt your creative life force energy moving through you, you're coming into this energy here. All right, you're coming back to your center, maybe to a greater sense of power from within, where you're going to see more movement. I wasn't sure about the power of love. I'm not so sure I'm going to go with that one. But let's look at the zodiac. This is a new deck, so we got your power. Okay, this is your God energy on the table. Okay, this is you knowing who you are. Okay, this is also you know, when I look at this, I see like you're punishing where you need to punish. You're putting your foot down where you need to put your foot down, okay? But this is fire. This is passion. This is you moving forward. These are very positive cards. So like I said, that sense of restriction, you're moving beyond that sense of restriction. And that is also, like I said, has quite a bit to do with perception. And I feel like for some of you all, that sense of restriction could also be you feeling like you can't really see the road ahead. So for some of you, it could be feeling a little bit unsure. Yeah, see? Moon card. Feeling like you can't see the road ahead. Don't worry about the road ahead. Don't worry about the road ahead. You got the road ahead. Don't worry about the road ahead. All things are not supposed to be visible. What you have to do is work with the subconscious, which is the unseen realm, which is where you breed your beliefs and you really believe in your power and your ability to move forward, okay? You don't have to see the road ahead. Things will be illuminated as they need to be illuminated. But this is about you. For me, when I look at this, we're looking at the number 5 here. And then we have this restriction card. This is about you trusting. About you trusting that things are being illuminated in your life in ways that you might not necessarily understand. It's also about you trusting and having faith with whatever restriction you might be feeling. And just keep in mind, restriction is also, like I said, when we feel like we can't see the way forward, when we need to walk by faith instead of by sight, it's also when we somehow feel confined. We're not necessarily in our comfort zone. This is a time of strength and trusting that movement is coming forward, okay? Movement is coming. Don't worry about that. Movement is coming. Things are being revealed. Things are being shifted on your behalf. Always know that. Everything's always working out for you because you're trying to do the right thing. As long as you're not trying to hurt anybody, you're trying to do the right thing, things are always working out for you. Okay, we have Pisces, so maybe this is related to some of you Pisces folks. All right, and we're getting ready to come up on, I think, the moon in Pisces, or we're coming into a period of Pisces. I want to read this card. If I can find it. Didn't I talk about the law of rhythm? Wasn't I talking about the law of rhythm a second ago? That's also accented in this moon card, okay? The fact that things happen in cycles, which is why I said the winter time, we tend to feel a little more restriction. We feel more restriction in activity. Things tend to slow down, but do not let that color the reality that inevitably spring will return, okay? And you'll be moving quick. You'll be pursuing your passions. You're going to feel more life, more energy, more inspiration. Move with the energy of the seasons. So spend your time strategizing now and planning what it is you want to do moving forward. That's going to be a shift from what it is you were doing coming into the fall. All right, let's look at this Pisces. If I can find it, let's see what is being said with Pisces. All right. Yeah, water, like I talked about, flow, intuition, changeableness, okay? Psychic insights available. I believe, okay? Believing that you're being led. Pisces energy is very aware of the unseen currents in the world, including the emotions of others. This can be overwhelming. Employ simple energetic protection techniques and avoid destructive escapism. What this is talking about, I feel, for some of you, some of you are very energetically perceptive. And you might not necessarily realize it overtly because it's just who you are, it's how you've been your whole life. But what that means is, and this moon energy is also talking about psychic energy, but what that's talking about is that some of you are receiving information. Some of you might actually be communicating with the other realms, but some of you are receiving information because of your intuitiveness, your intuitive side, and that means you may be tapping into the emotions of other people or what they might be going through. And when you pick up those energies, they do affect you. So what this is telling me to tell you, because with that moon card that I'm looking at as well, and I'm going to put this over here in front of the moon card, that's also reminding me to say to you that as you receive this information, first of all, trust your intuitive insight. But as you receive this information, don't allow it to overwhelm you. Sometimes you might not know where the information is coming from. Sometimes you might not know why you might be feeling a certain way. Sometimes it's because you're picking up stuff from other people. Okay, a lot of times this is related to people that we really, really care about. Okay, we pick up more from the people that we care about. Some of us are so tapped in that we pick it up. We have to learn how to turn it off. You pick it up while you're walking down the street. My daughter's like that. She gets a lot of psychic downloads. And she's been like that, I think, since she was 6 or 7, y'all. I really need to get those cards. It's just going to make me uncomfortable knowing that they're on the floor. But I don't need them. I'm going to try to resist the temptation to be OCD. But yeah, the psychic downloads. So information's coming at you. And You need to be able to ferret it out. You need to be able to manage the inflow of that information, especially when it's related to people that you care about. Because you can be on psychic overload and you can be taking on other people's problems. And people have to straighten out their own stuff, y'all. I don't care about, you know, we have to be compassionate. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much you love somebody. You cannot solve their problems. I promise you, you can't solve their problems, okay? These two fell out. Oh, and they upside down. Well, one of them is upside down and the other one is right side up, okay? This one is right side up, adjacent possibilities. This one is all tied up. So, you're moving, most of you, some of you, are moving out of a period of feeling that restriction. I told you movement is coming. But part of that is going to involve you being willing to look at the multitude of things that you have as potentials in your life. Okay, this is especially, this relates to everybody. Really it does. But being an entrepreneur myself, when I see this card, it reminds me that there's not necessarily a direct route. Like as an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to entertain all sorts of avenues and different ways of accomplishing your objectives and your goals. You cannot be one track in your thinking. But in your personal life, for those of you who are feeling that sense of restriction that we talked about, whether it's in your job situation or in your personal life, or you just feeling like you need to know what's waiting for you down at the end of the tunnel, this is about being willing to understand that Spirit is working for us all the time, trying to bring us information, but we have to be open. Like you have to be open-minded. You can't look at life from, you definitely can't look at life based on the circumstances that you find yourself in currently. You have to be willing to be open. You have to be willing to do things differently. You have to be willing to take risks and get out of your comfort zone, okay? So we got quite a few different kind of energies happening here. At the bottom of the deck, we have Happy Family, which is upside down. You all know we've been having some kind of energies going on in our readings for quite some time now. All this is talking about is maybe, I think I mentioned this in some readings last week. For some of you, your family situation are undergoing some changes. For other people, maybe you've gotten some news related to your family that is not very pleasing. For still others of those of us that are watching this reading right now, it just may simply mean that something related to your family may not be feeling so great right now, which may be why you were having some anxiety underneath, okay, which is moving away, but you're still, regardless of what's going on, you're still being encouraged to keep an open mind, okay? Keep an open mind. There's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? Let me see which of the tarot decks I'm going to use. Oh, I don't have my decks. They're in a bag somewhere else. But I do feel like, yeah. Here we go, everybody. This is what I want. I'm going to use a Psychic Tarot and the Good Tarot. They're a little milder. So you are coming into, around the corner is this period of a renewed sense of going after what it is you want, okay? This is around the corner, okay? You might still kind of be in this sort of middle place right now, okay? You may be still feeling some kind of unpleasantness as it relates to certain things that may be going on, but you're moving out of that, okay? Just right now, while you're in this place, stay in your strength. Cultivate that inner, cultivate the kind of inner dialogue that you need to, that keeps you on the right path, okay? Remember who you are. Remember who you are. And for some of y'all, this is not going to apply to everybody, but this is a very specific message. For some of y'all, just because you have the power doesn't mean you have to misuse it, okay? Keep that in mind. That's only for one or two people, maybe. True power comes from within. It's not something that we wield like a sword. It's not something that we use to hurt other people deliberately, Okay, so you want to be, you want to take the middle road as it relates to that. All right, let's get some more specific guidance. Messenger of air. Okay. This may be, for some of y'all, this might actually be some communication coming in. Looks like we got a lot of this can sometimes, literally, this can sometimes represent a combative kind of energy coming in. Sometimes it can represent communication, a renewed sense of vocalization, you needing to say something and saying what you need to say, but oftentimes it means something coming in. And with the messenger of air, usually it may be something that can be a bit conflictual. This is a softer deck though, so I read these cards a little bit differently. But then right beside it, we have this 5 of Fire card, which is definitely a card of conflict. It's definitely a card of conflict. It can sometimes be related to inner conflict as well. Okay. You can't really tell much from this image. But when I look at this, because we're ending up over here towards the latter part of the weekend with the 9 of Cups, which is you getting what it is that you want, or things taking a turn for the positive. But in the meantime, there may be a conflict that some of you may be dealing with, or it could be a battle of words. For other people, this 5 of Fire may have to do with you having a little bit of mental confusion, or being indecisive, or having some competing ideas about maybe what it is you want to do. I'm going to get some clarity here. Oh. We got these new ideas coming in, okay, on the heels of adjacent possibilities. So some of y'all may be looking for some ways around the situation that has something to do with some conflict. Ultimately, though, things are going to work out in your favor, so that's a very positive sign. Although you may not be able to see everything right now, your greatest, I can't get my words right. What's going to help you? What's going to assist you? Your greatest ally, okay, is going to be getting clarity. All right, it's really going to be getting clarity. Strength card again. Being strong, making the decision that's going to give you the greatest amount of stability. All right. So this may be, like I said, for some of you all, this may actually be you having a conversation or getting some communication from someone related to something that has created some kind of anxiety for you. And this is about you making a decision that's going to give you the greatest amount of stability with this 4 of Wands over here. And then we have the Strength card again, which we have up here in the Dragon. So whatever it is you're dealing with, stay on the right side of it. Number one, stay on the right side of it. Get really clear and then move in your strength. And trust that everything is going to work the way you want it to work out. But this is not about letting people run over you. It's not about letting people run over you. This is about getting your ideas together, knowing what it is that you're going to say, being strategic, but not letting anybody take advantage of you, okay? You are in your power, whatever the situation is that you may be dealing with that may be creating some sense of conflict. because the outcome is going to be a positive one. I got 3 cards that fell out. I'm not taking that. The outcome is going to be something positive. Okay, so with that Hierophant card, we are talking about convention. We're talking about tradition. Sometimes this card relates to marriage. It relates to those things that bring stability to our lives, and then so does the 4 of Wands. So for some of you all, because this card is negatively aspected, for some of you all, you might be dealing with situations that are related to your sense of stability, structures, marriages, relationship types of energies, things that involve like your very foundation. Okay, so here's where the guidance really is to, again, stand in your power. Whatever the conflict is, it looks like for some of y'all it may have something to do with relationship. And we have at the bottom of the deck with this upside down Hierophant card. I talked about this relates to relationships and so forth. We have the 7 of Swords, and you all know the 7 of Swords oftentimes can represent deceit. Sometimes it can represent people taking things from you, and you being unaware, literally like people taking things from you, or theft. But oftentimes it can represent, and oftentimes it does represent, somebody trying to hide something or keep something hidden. Interesting clarification. And then right under that, we have the Knight of Cups. Okay, so, you know, that is related to, for a lot of people, a relationship. For some of you all, it's a relationship with a man who's being dishonest. For other people, it relates to a marriage or a convention, a traditional covenant, which is marriage, that's upside down because of some deceit that involves somebody else. Okay, it looks like the woman in this card is the one that is involved in the deceit, but somehow this is creating a conflict for some of you guys, or you may be going back and forth in your head about some things. Just get clear. Like I said before, get clear. This is not a time of restriction for you. This is more of a perception that some of you may have. You are coming out of this energy of being tied up. You're moving into your strength, even though you might not necessarily realize it. Just trust, and anything else that needs to come up, that needs to come out, it's going to come out. But this is all about making the decisions that are going to allow you to move forward in your life and that are going to shore up your foundation. All right? Let's get some guidance on this 9 of Water, because by week's end, for some of you guys, maybe into the next week, you're going to be feeling a greater sense of some of this you'll be releasing more of this, okay, as you get clear and as you get more convicted. All right, and as you look at all the different possibilities that are presenting themselves to you, and as you focus on what was the initial message, this new season that's coming up of movement. We're talking about, I feel like this is more or less coinciding with springtime, okay? So I want to, I don't have all my tarot decks, but I am going to pull from this deck. Yeah. Other decks and my bag for some additional guidance. Okay, and then I want to pull some love guidance. Let's do that. Some specific messages for love, because this looks like for some of y'all, this is a relationship. There's some dishonesty going on related to a relationship involving a love offer of some type. A lot of emotions involved. But your job, again, is to guard what's important to you. With that Lion energy, your foundation. Nothing shakes your foundation. So get super clear. If you need to get clear, get super clear. This is not a time of restriction. I'm going to say it again. The restriction is more of a perception than the actual reality. All right? You have more power than you realize. All right. We have the Eight of, is this the, yeah, we have the Eight of Swords here. We have the Queen of Swords, which is again that same getting clear energy. And doggone it if we don't have the Moon again. We have the Moon again. We have the Moon again. You know we're already dealing with the Moon here. Moon is things coming to the light, things coming up, okay? Things becoming clear. But it's also you getting in touch with your feelings, as well as being guided by what it is that you're feeling in terms of insights that you might be getting. And this Queen of Swords energy, usually I read this different, but with this Queen of Swords energy, what I'm feeling is the message here for you is you're coming out of a period of, because this is also about restriction, okay? Okay, you're coming out of a period maybe of feeling inhibited and feeling trapped, all right? And feeling almost like you weren't sure of what the way forward was going to be. You're coming out of that period, but things are going to work out for you. The thing you want to be mindful of is your mind. Okay, this Queen of Swords, and then as I told you before, this energy over here, the messenger of air. We're talking about swords. We're talking about communication, but we're talking about clarity. We're talking about our ability to cut through illusion and to see things for what they are, to sever any false ideas that we may have about something. The Queen can see through lies. The Queen can see through deception. This is not an energy of where you're actually outwardly taking action and doing something about it, like what you would be doing with the King of Swords. This is really about cultivating that inner landscape within where you have clarity, And that's what's going to pull you out of the situation that maybe you have been in that's been sort of casting some shadow over your life or over something that's been going on with you this week. So we have clarity on the front end that's being needed to deal with whatever is coming in at you. And then we have clarity on the back end of this reading, which is going to be the primary strategy that you're going to use to deal with whatever it is you need to deal with. We're talking about mental energy here. So all of this is mental energy. I don't see anything on this table that's related to emotions other than this situation with this other party that's coming in that's related to some sort of deception here with this woman here, and we've got this card here. But doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. It can just be the masculine and feminine. It could be the flip side of that. But my final message to you really is that you are moving out of a period of difficulty, but there's some residual stuff that's still there that's creating some internal conflict or some things that you're thinking about. Get clear about that. When I say get clear about it, what I mean is really, really let go of the emotional aspect of it, because this is all thought. This is all related to air energy, okay? The only thing we have on this card, on this in this spread that's telling me to remind you that when you get clear and when you release your preoccupation with the things that you don't know and you just let yourself be guided and moving forward, then what you're going to be dealing with is really having all the things that you want. So I'm looking at, when I look at this reading, I know that this is supposed to be a weekly reading, but when I look at the seasonal aspects and the cyclical messages that are coming through with the moon, and also with this movement and this springtime and this passion and this seasonal type energy, I really feel like by spring you'll be able to move through a lot of this. I feel like things will open up. You'll be feeling clearer. You'll be feeling less restricted. You'll be feeling more in your power. Okay? And you will have put some of this stuff behind you. So use this time, like really use this time to kind of get inside your own head, and really be watching the thoughts that you're having and continue to counter anything that's counterproductive with something to take its place that's a lot more positive and it's going to be a lot more empowering for you. That's my message for y'all. Okay, what's that bottom of the deck energy? Yeah, we have that Knight again. This is we have the Knight. That Knight of Pentacles not looking very happy. Looking over there at that Knight of Cups or at this situation. So, yeah, if you're the one that's more grounded, since we said we were talking about relationships, I said I was going to pull a card too. If you're the one that's more grounded, that's a little more grounded, then meaning you're the one that's more grounded, you're the one that may be on the wrong side of this situation or on the unfortunate side of this situation, you being the one that's coming out of this feeling of being restricted and being trapped and not being able to see and not knowing the direction of things. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward strategically. Keep moving forward. Yeah, happiness, expansion, joy, all of those things are coming back into your life. Keep moving forward. Okay, things are going to be looking up in the springtime. You'll see. Continue to think positive. Don't worry about the things that you can't see. Okay, don't worry about that. Deal with what's in front of you. That's all you need to focus on. Deal with what's in front of you. Walk the part of the path that you can see. And by the time you get to that part, then everything else will continue to unfold for you. Yeah, this is that mask card. So we have the deception card, but also someone not showing their true feelings. This could be pretending. It could be you too hiding some things, maybe hiding your true feelings. In the worst case situations, this can have to do with gaslighting, which is when you deliberately try to tear down someone's sense of reality by pretending that certain things don't happen, or that you don't validate that person's reality and what they're actually experiencing. Okay? Yeah, so as y'all move forward this week, greater clarity is coming because you're going to take some time and cultivate that. And whatever it is that's in the middle that's creating this conflict, as I spoke about, okay, which is this deception, this marital situation, or this situation of a contract. I told you the Hierophant card talks about structures, conventional structures like marriage, institutions, and things like that upside down. That's a source of some inner kind of conflict with you, related around deceit and so forth. Just remember, like I said, that whatever decisions you make to move forward, that they solidify your base and that be your preoccupation. Celebrate the new life that you have, or celebrate what is coming into your life that's gonna, this is the card of celebrating foundations, that's gonna, the Four of Wands, that's gonna bring you a greater sense of alignment, okay? You will be back in your power soon. You actually never lost your power, okay? Because when people lie and they cheat and they wear masks and they're not true to who they are, these are the people who are actually not in their power. Although they may feel that they're getting away with something, anytime you need to hide something, you're making a mockery of truth. You're making a mockery of other people, and you don't win like that. Cheaters never prosper. Trust me. The person themselves who's hiding or who's doing whatever is happening in this reading here. While you're moving out of your sense of feeling restricted or being lost, or being life sort of being at a standstill where you weren't able to see the different possibilities, while you're moving out of that and leaving that behind and trusting in what the future holds, this person is moving further into the consequences of the decisions that they've made. Okay, what doesn't come out in the wash always comes out in the rinse. I hate to say that, but it's true. It is true. So I'm loving you guys. And I'm going to do the 2-card tarot vibe in just a little bit. And like I said, probably may just do a love reading. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see where we are with the rest of the day today. But I hope y'all have a wonderful day today. Remember, your thoughts are your power, okay? Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your deeds, and your deeds become your character and what you live by. Okay, so watch your thoughts. We got a lot of air energy in this reading, okay? Get clear. Watch your thoughts, okay? The space you were in previously, okay, with this 8 of Swords is not the space that you are in now, all right? So just remember that. Mwah.